So by this point, we all know that the woke mind virus has fully infected Hollywood, and that's why so many movies and shows just aren't that good anymore. Hell, years ago when I thought about starting this channel, or hell, when I did start this channel, it was because I like to watch and talk about movies, but nowadays I'm mostly talking about bad movies and shows because they seem to outnumber the good ones. And again, that's because, like I said, the woke mind virus has absolutely just destroyed Hollywood as a whole. That's why most of the good movies that come out of indie companies that don't make a ton of money, but are just better made because they're made to either entertain or give you something important to take from it. As opposed to, let's say, what Disney and Warner Brothers seem to be mostly focusing on, and Paramount's starting to get there as well, where they just want to push an agenda. And I decided to try to figure out when this all started. Now, woke nonsense is nothing new in Hollywood. This shit's been happening for decades, but it's been a lot more subtle in previous years, but in the last 4 or 5 years in particular, it's gotten particularly bad. So what I want to do, because I made an entire list here, and yeah, I just noticed it disappeared on the green screen there, but I wrote down a huge list. This is how long the list is. There's a ton of them on here, and we're going to go over these to try to figure out where this mostly started. Now, we all know the ones from last year, and even ones that are seeping into this year. Perry Johnson and the Wokepians, I'm going to keep calling it that. Barbie, Little Mermaid, Peter Pan and Wendy, Spider-Man 2, Forspoken, Alan Wake 2, TMNT Mutant Mayhem, Velma, Leave the World Behind, and about a dozen other ones, but I just decided to condense that down. Now let's look at the year before, 2022. Rings of Power, Obi-Wan Kenobi, She-Hulk, Strange World, To the End, Willow, I had another one on here. Lightyear, Woman King, Halo. By the way, one I forgot this year, because it was this year in particular, Doctor Who. Though with female Doctor Who and now with gay black Doctor Who. Now let's keep going back to the rest of these. Mulan 2020. Resident Evil 2022. I forgot about that. Batwoman. The CW TV show. Terminator Dark Fate. Charlie's Angels. Us. Matrix Resurrections. Santa Inc. You guys remember that Christmas TV show with Seth Rogen? Wait, was it Seth Rogen? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Seth Rogen. I may have to do an entire video on that next Christmas. No Time to Die, Wonder Woman 84, Masters of the Universe Revelations. No, I didn't watch that. Last of Us 2, Get Out, Dear White People, The Hate You Give, and Sorry to Bother You. Some of these you may not have heard of, like Sorry to Bother You was kind of a smaller movie that I did actually see, and yeah, it was pretty bad. But one I forgot to mention on here, I may have forgotten to mention, Ghostbusters 2016. And I think that's where it started. Here's what I mean. So, the 2016 Ghostbusters movie was heavily divisive when it came out. That's nothing new, that's no new information. And not just because it was a bad movie. I saw it, it's bad on its own. It's bad no matter what way you look at it. It's bad. It's badly written, it's badly acted, it's cringy as hell. But the main drawback from it is that they made the leads for women. And you know that wasn't an accident. And it wasn't, and that would be different if it was some kind of satire or parody of the first movie. Think like a Spaceballs to Star Wars-esque type of thing. Which, actually, I kind of want to see now that I mention it. That would be pretty awesome. But you know they did it just to get a rise out of people. You know what? One I forgot on here that technically counts? Fant Four Stick. I think that's where it started. So, let's talk about that one quick. Fantastic Four 2016, or which was stylized as Fant Four Stick, which most people call it, including me, because it's just easier to say and it helps to differentiate between the 2005 movie, decided to make Johnny Storm black. And decided he had a blonde sister because she was adopted. Now, I will say the casting for this movie overall wasn't that great. I think Miles Teller could have made a decent Mr. Fantastic in a different movie. Kate Mara was fine, but mostly miscast one was Jamie Bell because he's too damn small. But again, there were scenes from the trailer that showed him pretty ripped, but in the movie he's shorter than Reed, so I'm getting off topic. But the huge drawback that people had of that movie is because they made Johnny Storm black, but there was never a reason for it. That's where all of this started, because what reason did Percy Jackson have to make Annabeth black? What did Little Mermaid have making Ariel race swap? Or Tinkerbell? Or, April O'Neil in Mutant Mayhem? Or making Shaggy black in Velma? Or any of these others? You know what the reason was? It was to get a rise out of people. It's the only reason they did. Josh Trank casted him to say, hey, look at our movie, look what we did. Isn't this controversial? Now, don't get me wrong, I think Michael B. Jordan is a fantastic actor. But the whole reason he was casted in that movie was to get a rise out of people. The same thing happened with Ghostbusters, and then the same thing kept happening with all of these. Like Terminator Dark Fate in particular, the director of it, who also directed Deadpool, which is a far superior movie, which shows you just how far writing goes in a movie, he said the movie would scare the shit out of closeted misogynists. Really. This piece of shit movie with these horrible characters, and this poster that was made fun of, the one I have on the thumbnail, where one of them looks like they belong in the wheelchair, the other one is just the ethnically diverse John Connor, and then a chick who looks like Justin Bieber. Yeah, this movie's gonna scare the shit out of misogynists, and don't you think they would have already been scared off from this franchise with the first two movies? I'm sorry, was Sarah Connor not already a badass in the second movie? I'm sure these people also didn't see another James Cameron movie, which is called Aliens, which also had a female lead. Again, just having a female lead or having minorities in your movie doesn't make a movie woke. Like, something that seems to be what people are missing. They think that people call a movie woke just because it has black people, or just because it has gay people, or just because there's women in the lead. No, because people who don't understand what the word means also call Shang-Chi woke, and really? No, it's not. Like, again, I know I'm a big Marvel fan, but wokeness has been seeping into Marvel. It happened with Black Widow, even though I think the movie itself was decent, and it definitely happened with She-Hulk. But Shang-Chi? Really? No. So, back to my point. But yeah, that seems to be the big misconception about this, is that they think people call something woke because it has black people, or because it has women, or because it has LGBT, whatever the fuck. That's not the case. The problem with these is that they're done for political agendas. Like, again, Percy Jackson, Riordan made a big deal about how faithful this would be to the book, and fucked up pretty much every casting choice. Or, how about Little Mermaid? What was the point of casting someone who looks absolutely nothing like Ariel in the movie? It was for political ideology. Or hell, casting somebody who looks nothing like Tinkerbell, despite being one of the most recognizable Disney characters of all time, done for political agendas. And you know that's true because Tinkerbell doesn't have a single damn line. You could have casted anybody in that role. Or let's look at some other ones. Why do you think Velma made a big deal about how Fred's his main character trait is that he's white? No, seriously, the Mindy Kaling and the other people behind this show actually said that. Or how about Mulan, all these girl bosses in these movies and shows that are just perfect at everything, which is called a Mary Sue. Which reminds me, I should have put the Star Wars sequel trilogy on here as well. That's the one. Like, it started with Ghostbusters and Terminator Dark Fate and some of these others, but where it was really pushed with the Mary Sue angle was with the Star Wars films, Last Jedi in particular. And that keeps happening. Hell, again, Percy Jackson's been doing the same thing with Annabeth. She's perfect at everything, and it's not because of her training, because in the novel, she's also deathly afraid of Ares in the book, like she should be, because she knows who he is, and Percy doesn't, yet Percy's the one who sits there and shuts up when he talks, like he's scared of him, and Annabeth keeps talking back to him like he's her bitch. And that's not how it should be. Annabeth should be deathly afraid of him like she is in the novel, and Percy's the one being a dick to him. I know Ares is kind of a dick and deserves it, but that's besides the point. So, yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Around 2016, which I'm noticing right now is around the time Donald Trump came into the presidency, is where this woke shit started, because that's when they started pushing their agenda, because they knew they had to at that point. They didn't have to before, because they knew they had everybody in their pocket, but as soon as Trump got into office, they knew that was no longer the case. So they had to push it into everything, and Hollywood got the worst of it with all these shitty shows and movies. Like, I can't tell you of a single person. There's so many of these where I haven't met a single person that likes some of these. Never seen a single person say something nice about Santa Inc. I've never seen anybody say something nice about Velma. I haven't seen anybody say something nice about Rings of Power, or Peter Pan and Wendy, or Forspoken, or a lot of these other just cringe trash fires, even to the point of changing stories like Percy Jackson did with Medusa, and I'm doing a full video on that, or The Woman King, where they just completely butchered history for the sake of pushing an agenda. I'm fucking sick of it. That's why I changed the channel name to what it is now. It's because this shit has pushed me to the edge. I'm so sick of this garbage. I want movies and shows to be good. I do. That's why I'm kind of happy that it seems like most of the movies and shows, or at least the movies, that are coming up this year that I at least know of already, don't seem like they're gonna be woke trash fires. Some of them could be, like Madam Web is kind of shaping up to be that way, or it's big girl power, the Marvels type of thing, and it's gonna be an absolute disaster. It's gonna bomb, people are gonna hate it, I guarantee, and I'm probably gonna hate it too. So, yeah, that's all I got, and I'll see you next time. Bye.